Alrighty, folks, let's get started for today. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are signing in from. Welcome to our Warrior webinar series, Student Life Experience at Manoa. My name is Kaden Iwasaki, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at the university itself. I'm going to be your host for today, and I'm also going to be talking about some different housekeeping items before we get started. So I just want to explain to us how we're going to be doing this presentation. So this presentation is going to be done webinar style, meaning that you can see us, but we can't see you. You're going to be muted and the chat has been disabled. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns as we go through our student panel, we have the Q&A feature down at the bottom of this Zoom presentation. Click on it, type in a question, and then we can answer it at a later time. If it's a simple question, we might answer it right then and there. So please keep checking that throughout our presentation today. So today we're going to be starting off with basically an introduction from one of our counselors who will be introducing some of the students that will be explaining student life here at UH Manoa. Today's event will be recorded and will be posted to our YouTube page within 48 hours. And we will send you a link for that. So in case you missed something, in case you want to review some certain items that they discussed, you'll have the link to do so. Before we get started today, I just want to share with you an upcoming webinar that we have next week, December 7th from 1 p.m. to 2. It talks about scholarships and winter break. So what to do over winter break and what kinds of things you might want to be informed about and you might want to complete during that time. So if you want to sign up for this upcoming Warrior webinar, please make sure to visit the URL posted on the PowerPoint so that we can get you in. So now that we've gotten these housekeeping items out of the way, I'm going to be passing it over to Caitlin, who is another admissions counselor, to have her introduce the students that we'll be talking today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Warrior webinar student panel, where, like Kaden said, you'll hear from our current UH Manoa students about their campus life. They'll give you tips and tricks about like navigating through college and just overall their college experience. Again, my name is Caitlin. I am one of the admissions specialists here at the Office of Admissions. Please feel free to contact me. That is my contact information on the screen. But we will be having 3 students. The first one will be Rhys, then Hannah, then Senna. They could do a little bit more introduction themselves, but I hope you enjoy our student panel.
All right, how's it going, guys? My name is Rhys Kisaba. I graduated from Roosevelt High School here on Oahu back in 2020. My current majors are Finance and Management Information Systems. I'm also minoring in Economics, and my expected graduation date is spring 2024, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so why UH Manoa? I grew up here, so it's hard to leave behind all this beautiful scenery. That picture at the top there is actually from one of our residence halls, actually one of the freshman towers, in fact. So where some of you may be staying if you decide to stay on campus for housing. That bottom left, we have a rainbow, which is a normal occurrence here in Manoa. Those rainbows never get old, seeing them every morning. But the other 2 pictures, I've been able to make some great friends here, whether it be with coworkers or classmates or things like that. And just walking around campus, there's so many places to just hang out, and there's a lot of places to take pictures too. So if you are looking to kind of revamp your Instagram or something like that, there's a lot of places to do so here on campus. All right, so staying home, like I said, I graduated from Roosevelt here on Oahu, so wasn't that far of a move for me, maybe a 10-minute drive from my high school, but staying home, it's presented me with a lot of unique opportunities. I've been able to go back to my high school and help coach sports, or I've been able to, help students at my high school apply for college and other students around the globe, really. So I couldn't leave home. It was a really hard decision for me to make when it came to deciding where to attend college. And UH was always on my list. So when the time came, it just felt like the right decision for me. And if you're thinking about going away or staying home here in Hawaii, I think the community here is something that you can't get anywhere else. All right, so life on island. Some people ask me, do you ever get bored living on Oahu? And I tell them I've been going to the same beaches since I was like 5 years old. So I've been going to them for about 13 years now, 14 years. Sand dunes never gets old, so there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's a lot of hikes, scenery, like I said. So a lot of great places to take pictures, a lot of places to go fishing. But we also have a really diverse population here on Oahu, and that really kind of opens it up for a lot of cultural events, like this Okinawan festival that I was able to attend a couple years back. We have festivals or fairs for almost all the cultures that you can think of. And then finally, on the right there, uh, pre-COVID, they used to have fireworks every Friday at Alamorna Beach, so you can have a nice nighttime picnic with your friends. So just a couple of things that you might want to look at doing if you ever have the chance to come to Hawaii. So working on campus, I started working on campus this past summer as a tour guide. I've since moved to a new position. I'm an admissions assistant now, so I do a little bit more of the back end stuff, helping students with their actual applications and questions that they may have. But working on campus has been a great experience so far. I've met a lot of great people, started a lot of new friendships. But specifically working on campus is probably one of the most flexible jobs you can have because they really work your schedule around your classes. They understand that, work and school isn't the only thing that you have going on right now as a college student. They want you to, enjoy your youth. But it's really tailored to you as a student. So we get like finals week off, or we can take time to focus on our studies, and we don't have to worry about all the other stresses in our lives. All right, so student life. My first semester here at UH Manoa, I actually joined a club. We're called the Business Executive Society of Tomorrow. If you're a business major, check us out. But through this, I've been able to make countless new friends. I've got to speak with professionals from around the world, from companies like Apple, Boeing, Pinterest, Microsoft, a lot of big companies. And without this club, I wouldn't have been able to have those opportunities. So I think joining a club is one of the best things that you can do, not only to kind of expand your network, but also to just meet new people and make new friends and memories. And that kind of leads into my tips for freshmen. So number one is going to be join a club. I can't emphasize that enough. Join a club, join a club, join a club. We have, I think, like over 200 clubs on our campus. So, there's a community for everybody here. And I think joining club is one of the best things you can do. Number two is meet somebody new every day. I know that seems like a daunting task, but if you're living in the residence halls, we're going to be having in-person classes this coming semester. So, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to say hi to somebody new, and everybody has their own story. And I've gotten to listen to a bunch of them, and it's really a privilege. Number three is to use the facilities and services that we have. You're paying for them as a part of your student fees. Use our gym, use our academic advisors, use your bus pass, use the Rainbow Shuttle, use all those things. It'll really give you the fullest experience. And it'll only make your experience better. Like you're paying for it already, you might as well use it. Number four, don't be afraid of the food. I said we have a diverse population, and that with that comes a lot of interesting food, but not just the food. Don't be afraid of just new experiences in general. There's a lot to take in here. So, take it at your own pace, but definitely try to get a little bit out of your comfort zone. And lastly, explore the islands. Even if you've been here before, I can guarantee you there's something that you haven't seen yet. So go out with your friends on the weekend, take the bus to the opposite side of the island, go on a little road trip. But there's so much to see here, and you should definitely take advantage of that. So that's all I have, but I'm going to pass it on to Hannah. So Hannah, take it away.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Hannah Weir. I was actually homeschooled in high school, so I like to say that I graduated from Weir Homeschool. I was class of 2020, and I'm from Roanoke, Texas. I'm currently majoring in food science and human nutrition, and I'm a sophomore here, but I did transfer, so it's my first year here at UH Manoa, and I'm hoping to graduate in spring of 2024 as well. We'll see how that goes. So a little bit more about myself. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta go back. But I did say that I was from Texas. However, I lived in a bunch of different states just because I moved around quite a bit whenever I was younger. So I lived in, I'm so sorry, don't know why it's doing this. But I've lived in states, I've lived in Nevada, California, Texas, of course, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Oregon, and now Hawaii. So I've kind of been a little bit all around in some very beautiful states. I love traveling. I think moving around a lot whenever I was younger kind of helped my love for travel and experiencing different cultures. In the top left photo, it's me and my dog, who I'm kind of obsessed with a little bit, but that picture is actually from Oregon. And then the one right below that is when I got to go to the Dominican Republic. And then the picture on the very right is me and my sister, who's my best friend. We love to travel to all these places together, and that picture is also in Oregon. So definitely I love to travel, and additionally I am a photographer, so I love taking pictures of different places, different beautiful scenery, as well as beautiful people of all different cultures. That's probably my favorite thing to do. The picture on the left is my most recent favorite picture that I've taken, and it was actually here. So living on this island has definitely upped my photography game, for sure. Why did I choose Manoa? Well, 5 years ago, I came to Oahu for the first time ever. Never thought I was going to get to go to Hawaii whenever I was younger. But 5 years ago, I was able to on a family vacation. And I stepped off the plane, and I definitely fell in love right away with how beautiful the island was and how beautiful the culture is and all the different people here. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, I do really love to just experience different cultures, different than my own. But so I told my parents 5 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna live here someday. And they were like, yeah, sure, Hannah. Like, I was 12 at the time. So they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But then 5 years later, I was like, I'm gonna make it happen. And so I thought, what better way to do that than to come to school here? And then I can live on this beautiful place and meet all these new people. So that's originally why I chose to come here. Really just to be able to experience what it's like to live in a different culture. So that leads me to living in a pandemic. It's kind of crazy for sure. But like I mentioned earlier, I'm a transfer student. So I wasn't here for the brunt of COVID-19. But since I've been here, of course, there's still restrictions. But living in Hawaii, there's so much to do still, especially outside, because it is such a beautiful place with so many hikes to do. I think I've been on like a different hike like every weekend since I've been here, and I just got here in August. And I know there's so much more that I haven't done, so I'm really looking forward to that. You can see on the top right picture, I got to go on a boat once far out into the ocean, which I've never done before, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, I've met so many people. I've gone to so many different local restaurants and tried food that I've never tried before, kind of like Rhys was saying. So super interesting. And living in a pandemic, it's been totally fine here. Everything's still really awesome and I've been able to do so much still. Okay, so my first year at UH. So this is my first year at UH. I've only been here for a few months now, but I transferred, and that was actually kind of stressful. I was worried at first that it was going to be a hard transition, but I was able to meet with my academic advisor. And after the first time of meeting with him, I like just felt like all the stress like go away, you know, like he was able to really calm me down and explain everything to me. He explained that all my credits were going to transfer, which was really nice and super helpful. And definitely answered all my questions, and I had a lot of questions. I'm one of those people that has a lot of questions. But so I'm staying in one of our residence halls here on campus. I'm staying in Freer. So I have a roommate in my room, and then I have 2 suite mates as well, and we share a common living area like a bathroom. And just staying on campus, which I would highly recommend, especially if you are a freshman. I've met some of my best friends here. They're actually my roommates. So it's pretty fun. I get to basically live with some of my closest friends, which has been really, really nice. Additionally, I'm on campus, so I'm like right where all the student life is happening. And Rhys mentioned earlier that you should try and meet someone new every day. I've definitely met more than one new person every day that I've been here. So it's been super great. All right, getting involved. So I work as a campus tour guide here on campus, which has been super fun. Kind of funny because whenever I first got here, I didn't know anything about campus, but now I could tell you like everything about campus. It's been super great. I've also met some really, really good friends through work, as well as just people from also all over the world who are coming to tour our campus, which has been really, really cool for me and fun to learn more about them. So I do work here in the admissions office as a campus tour guide, but I also work with Manoa now as a social media manager, which has been really fun because they basically do events like student life events, and I get to just go there and meet new people and then like photograph it, which is what I love to do. So that's been really fun for me, and one of the biggest ways that I've gotten involved on campus. But additionally, I would like to say that clubs are a very, very good way to get involved, and I would recommend that you find a club that you'd like to do. We have a lot of clubs here, but if you can't find one, you can always make your own. So I would definitely recommend that. Now, moving on to some tips that I have for freshmen. Here's my first one. Don't be afraid to talk to anyone and everyone. Everyone's basically in the same boat as you. I know I'm a sophomore, but it's still my first year on campus, so I was kind of stressed, but everyone here is so nice and friendly. And like I said, they're in the same boat as you, so they're also looking to meet new people and make friends. So whenever you're on the elevator and there's someone with you, might as well just say hi, you know, like there's no harm in doing that. I've actually made some really good friends on the elevator. It's a good way. But don't be afraid just to, you know, say hi to someone. It doesn't hurt. My second tip would be to join a club or get involved with an organization. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of clubs that you can join, but also different organizations. I'm involved with an organization called Young Life, and I love it. They do events on campus. That's where they meet, and that's how I met them. And then from there, I got super involved and made some really, really amazing friends that I'm super happy that I met them just through this organization. So I've been able to get involved with that. So even if it's not a club, even if it's just an organization that you really love, get involved for sure. The next one would be to go on adventures. So definitely find your people that want to go on adventures. They have the same interest as you. They want to explore the island with you. Basically just find those people that are up for anything and then go do it. Like, of course, do your school too, but definitely go on adventures and explore the island. Do it while you're here. If you ever get the chance to visit, that's probably my favorite part of living here. Like I mentioned earlier, I like to go hiking, and I've gone on so many hikes since I've been here and visited so many beaches. It's just like, it never gets old. It's insane to me. Like I wake up every morning and I'm like, this is like crazy beautiful. Like I can't believe that I live here. And then my last tip would be to ask questions. I kind of mentioned earlier that I met with an academic advisor before coming here. and how I'm a person that likes to ask questions. It's because I get super stressed and I don't know what I'm doing. But they're so helpful here, and they're so so nice. They don't make you feel like any question is bad, even though I'm sure I had some bad ones, but so nice and able to help you with anything. So don't be afraid to ask questions, even if it's just like you just want to know what someone's experience is here. Just ask the question. It doesn't hurt. With that being said, that's the end of my little presentation. Thank you guys for listening to me. And I'm going to pass it on to my friend Senna.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Senna. So I graduated from Rancho Bernardo High School in 2019. Rancho Bernardo High School is in San Diego, California. My major is psychology. I'm currently a junior with an expected graduation of spring 2023. So leaving home. So I'm born and raised in San Diego. I've lived there my entire life. I've never moved anywhere. And choosing to come to Hawaii was really difficult. I'd actually gotten into a lot of schools in California, so it would have been so easy to just stay home, be close to friends and family and everyone that I knew and loved. But I really wanted to come to Hawaii. I had been coming here for vacation every year since I was about 1 year old. And so I just fell in love with the island and told myself that I had to live here one day, kind of similar to Hannah. And so I decided to kind of take a risk and leave everything I knew behind. And I chose UH. And as I was getting on that plane, I was so excited at first when I first made the decision to come to UH. And then getting on that plane by myself, knowing that I was going thousands of miles away from home, not knowing anyone, the nerves kind of definitely started to set in. But eventually I just was so overtaken by excitement and I was ready for something new. So something that really helped me when I first came out here, because I didn't know anyone, was joining a team. So I was actually on the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior dance team my freshman year. I made it before, I auditioned before I came out my freshman year, and then I made the team. And so I was on it starting in August as soon as I got here. And it was an incredible experience. The football games before actually were at Aloha Stadium. Now they're on campus, which is really nice, but I got to cheer our team on at Aloha Stadium and also stand sheriff. And I got to meet a lot of cool fans and a lot of different people by being on the team. And being on the team definitely helped me grow my roots. I was actually a competitive dancer in Southern California for about 16 years. And so it was kind of always a dream to dance collegiately, but I never thought I could do it. But UH gave me the perfect opportunity to do so. And the team really became like family to me. So it was an amazing experience and it really helped me kind of come into my own and get settled in on the island. And so I lived on campus. I've lived on campus the last 3 years that I've been at UH. And so I've lived in a couple of different towers. So the first one on the left you're going to see is Halealoha Lehua. That is one of the 4 freshman buildings. And I actually lived on the 6th floor of Lehua my freshman year. And it was a great experience. I loved living in Lehua. It really helped me again settle in, meet a lot of new people. All of my closest friends now I met on my floor or within my building. And so it was really great for me to kind of start building that community. Excuse me. The RAs on campus are really great. They're super helpful. My freshman year RA was amazing and he still checks in on me even though he's graduated. And then on the right, you're going to see a couple of photos. So for the last 2 years now, I've lived in Hale Wainani, which is the apartments on campus. So the top right photo is actually the view from my bedroom and the bottom right photo is the view from my living room. So I really can't complain about living on campus. It is absolutely stunning and it's been the most convenient for me. I've been able to kind of be in the middle, like Hannah said, of all the student life. Also, it's close to my classes and classes are in person and I'm able to work on campus without worrying too much about what time I'm leaving. I can leave a little bit later and still make it on time. And so working at UH and having a job as a student, so I've had a couple of different jobs here on campus. On the right, you're going to see the Instagram for a student organization called Manoa Now. I was their social media coordinator for a while, and then I eventually left that position to come to the top left. You're going to see that is actually QLC, or the Queen Liliuokalani Center. That's where the admissions office actually is, and I was hired as an admissions assistant a couple months back, so it hasn't been too long now, but it's been an amazing position. I've gotten to meet Hannah and Rhys and a bunch of other work coworkers, and they're all amazing people. Our admissions team is absolutely incredible. So really, if you guys have any questions about admissions, feel free to reach out to any of us any time of any day. We're happy to help. And then that bottom left photo. So I was on the dance team for about one semester, and then I actually switched to an assistant coach position. So I'm currently the assistant coach of the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior dance team, which has been super exciting. If you kind of see, you can see me peeking in on auditions, our in-person auditions that we got to hold this year in the very far back, just kind of standing there making sure everything's running smoothly. But if you guys have any questions about dance team or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. But joining a club has been really great. But since I was in sports and because I danced for a long time, joining a team was what really helped me the most. I think the clubs on campus are amazing, but if you are an athlete, there's so many intramural sports. We also have a D1 athletics program. So if you're looking to join any sort of sports team, UH is definitely one of the best places to do it. And so Oahu life has definitely been very, very kind to me. This island is absolutely beautiful, and it's like nowhere on earth. You have the mountains that are just steps away from the beach. And so that middle photo is actually Kailua Beach. And then on the right, we have the botanical gardens, also on the east side. But I've just learned so much being out here. Again, I'm born and raised in Southern California. So I lived about 10 minutes from the beach. So I thought I kind of knew what a beach town was all about, but it is so different being out here. Just the community and the culture is absolutely beautiful. And I've appreciated every single moment that I've gotten to live here and call this place home for the last 3 years. On the top left photo, you'll see a bunch of flowers and some string. And actually, I was lucky enough to have a friend of mine. His mom actually taught me how to make leis, which is something that's super traditional here and a huge part of the culture experience. So if you guys get any opportunities like that, I would say take advantage of them. And then also the bottom left photo, take care of our planet, take care of each other, take care of yourself. Please pick up your trash anytime you go to the beach, remind others to do it. And if you see others leaving it behind, pick it up for them. We get to live in such a beautiful place. So the best thing that we can do is help maintain it and help keep making it beautiful. And so with that being said, I have a few tips for you guys. So the first one is learn the culture and the history. Hawaii is absolutely beautiful, but it is never lost on me that I am a guest to this island. I'm not originally from here. I'm not native. I'm not even local. And so living here, I definitely wanted to kind of learn the culture and the history behind this place and behind every single place that is around this island. Of course, a lot of the places have English names, but there's so much native history that we often aren't taught, especially on the mainland. And so it was really important to me when I was choosing to move out here to learn the culture and the history. And it's been absolutely incredible. And so I encourage all of you to learn all of that. Even if you don't end up deciding to come here, I just encourage you to kind of take a moment and learn about all the different culture and the history, because Hawaii is absolutely beautiful, but the history and the people are even more beautiful. And the next step is check in with yourself, check in with your friends. This is college, one of the most beautiful places, but it is still college, and college is hard. Classes can be hard, it can be stressful, whatever it may be. Being away from home for me, I know is a big one, because like I said, I didn't really know anyone out here, but check in with yourself, make sure you're doing okay, then check in with your friends, make sure they're doing okay. We can all do a little bit better by checking in on each other and making sure that everyone around you is feeling good and feeling comfortable so that we can all feel great together. And then my next tip, get outside. We live in one of the most beautiful places, and it is absolutely stunning outside pretty much all the time. Even when it's raining, it's gorgeous. And so I would encourage you all, find a hike, find a beach, find the mountains, find something to do anytime you get the chance to, and just get outside. It'll help you clear your head. It'll help with the whole mental health aspect of it. I know for me, it's really helped to just get outside, get to the mountains and see all that green or see all the blue at the beach and just really kind of relax and unwind, especially on the weekends. But take full advantage of the fact that it is so beautiful outside and there's so much to do outside. There's so many beautiful hikes. This picture is actually from Mapupu'u Lighthouse Trail, which is a fairly easy hike. So I encourage you all to go try it someday. And then finally, embrace change and enjoy every single moment. I'm in my third year, halfway through my third year, and I still just can't believe that I get to live here. Change is constantly all around us, and the best thing that we can do is embrace it. And I've just really learned to take it all in. When I first got here, I thought, oh, 4 years is such a long time to be living here and to be away from home, but it seriously flies by so fast. I'm in my third year and I can't believe that I'm almost done. But definitely just take it all in. There's so many things that you're going to enjoy, and these are the best years of your life. So just take it in, really enjoy it, and embrace all the little things. Even if it seems hard at first, trust me, it either teaches you a lesson and it helps you grow. And that's the best thing that we can do. So just embrace change and enjoy every moment. And thank you. I think that wraps up all of our student panels for today.
Yes, so that wraps up our student panel. But if you do want to see our upcoming webinars and events, just go ahead and scan that QR code. And just be on the lookout for our emails if you do want to join in on our next webinars. I'll give it a couple of seconds so that you folks could scan the QR code. Again, sorry, I don't think my camera's on, but thank you folks so much for joining us today at our student panel. Oh, sorry, yes, we do have some Q&A questions, but sorry, let me just thank you folks for joining in. But we do have some Q&A questions in our chat, and we'll go ahead and address them now. So let me just stop sharing. But again, our Welcome Center is open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 3 p.m. That is our phone number. You folks could also email us at manoa.admissions@hawaii.edu. And then we'll go ahead and do our Q&A questions. Let me just stop sharing screen. Okay, so I will be asking the Q&A questions. So the first question is, what is it like to live in the Halealoha Towers? I believe, Senna, you've lived in the Halealoha Towers your freshman year, correct?
Yes, I did. What is it like to live in Halealoha? It is definitely an experience. It is so exciting when you first get here because you live in a circle. So all of our buildings are circles. So you kind of get your own little wedge. And I didn't know anyone coming here, so I got assigned a random roommate, but she actually ended up being one of my closest friends. So it is really exciting. I loved the kind of circle aspect of it just because it kind of feels more connected. I lived on a co-ed floor, so half our floor was females, half the floor was males, and then RI lived in the center. But the Halealoha Towers are really nice. There's always events going on. There's kind of small competition between the towers happening all the time. So if you live in Lehua, go Lehua. But yeah, the Halealoha Towers are really nice to live in, especially your freshman year. It's right in the middle of all the housing. So it's the perfect distance away from everything. And then in the middle of the towers is actually our main cafeteria. And so it's really convenient just to be able to go outside your door, go down to the cafeteria, then go back up again. And then the bus line, the main bus line that goes into Waikiki, is just a few steps away from the towers as well. So overall, I really enjoyed my experience at the Halealoha Towers, and I would definitely recommend it if you're a freshman, especially if you're moving here from the mainland, because you'll meet a lot of cool people and you'll have the resources of student housing, a lot of student housing resources. There's so many available to you, and it really helps the transition over, especially if you're moving from far away. But yeah, I'd recommend it. I absolutely loved it.
Awesome. Thank you, Senna. So our next question is, I'm also a transfer student from California and plan to start at UH Manoa in the summer of 2022. How does summer housing work? Is it different from applying for the actual academic year? Any of you folks can answer that. Then are you trying to answer it? Are you trying to unmute?
Sorry, I was trying to read the question.
Oh, no problem. So how does summer housing work, and is it different from applying for the actual academic year?
I believe, yes, housing is different over the summer. We do offer summer housing, but you apply for housing by term or by semester. You can apply for the full academic year, which would be August to May, or you can apply for by term, so just fall or spring, and cancel your contract by that, like in that way. But housing is different for the summer. You have to, I believe, reapply for summer housing. So it is a little bit different than the academic year, but you can always talk to your RAs, especially throughout the year, about what summer housing looks like, and student housing is always available as well. But yeah, so it is a little bit different, but it's definitely more convenient and it's definitely available.
Okay, Hannah, how was your transition moving from far away from home? Any tips on how to make the transition easier?
Okay, so moving far away from home, yeah. So the most recent place I was living was Oklahoma, so it's pretty far from here. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but I graduated high school early, so I am younger than most. And so like this is my first time really living away from home, away from my parents. So it's definitely been a transition for me and figuring it all out. But I was thinking whenever I came here that the transition was going to be harder than it was. Actually, it was really easy, and I think that's mostly due to the people that I've met. You know, it always helps to have people around, especially when you are feeling homesick, because there will be those times, I'm sure. Everyone loves their family and, you know, wants to see them. And especially if this is your first time away from home, there will be times where, you know, you just want to see your family. But having those friends around that you can be like, hey, do you want to go to the beach today? Like, because I'm missing my family. So do you want to go to the beach? Honestly, my tip, or at least what works for me, is whenever I am kind of feeling like, oh, I'm homesick, or sorry for myself because I'm not with my family or whatever, I will find something that I want to do, like go to the beach or hang out with friends or anything like that that is, you know, specific to Hawaii, because then I like to remind myself that like, wow, I live in this like beautiful place. And so I shouldn't be sad that I'm not somewhere else. Like I'm here, so I should take advantage of it while I'm here. Of course, I'm gonna see my family soon, so like talking to your family with technology makes it super easy to not feel super homesick. So that's probably my best piece of advice.
Thank you, Hannah. For Rhys, what is your favorite thing about UH Manoa?
My favorite thing would probably have to be the amount of diversity that we have on campus. We're like the sixth most diverse campus in the nation or in the world or something like that. We have all 50 states, over 100 countries represented. So I think the amount of diversity that you get here is unmatched anywhere else. And with that diversity comes a lot of unique opportunities, ones that I don't think I would have been able to have if I had gone somewhere else. I've met people from all around the world. I have friends from Taiwan, Japan, Korea. So I definitely would have met them if I went to another institution. So just the amount of diversity we have and the opportunities that come along with that diversity.
Awesome. Okay. Another question is, how long does it take to know the decision for admission?
So it depends. If you apply by the priority deadline, our decision process usually takes, we say, rule of thumbs like 6 to 10 weeks. Anything past that goes all the way possibly 12 weeks. So definitely get your application in as soon as possible. That'll give you the quickest turnaround time. The longer you put it off, the longer you're gonna have to wait for a decision. So we recommend that you get your application in as soon as possible. We aren't early action, early decisions. So even if you do apply before January 5th, we don't need you to, give us a decision until May 1st. So we do a rolling admissions. So get your application in as soon as possible.
Okay, sure.
How did the past months with COVID affect student life at UH Manoa?
Okay, then I think you cut out, but I think the question we're trying to answer is, how did COVID affect student life at UH Manoa? And okay, so Hannah and I both came in came in through COVID. So previously we had pretty much all online classes. I think this semester is the first time that I have an in-person class, and we're seeing the amount of in-person opportunities increase. Next semester I have about a 50-50 split, but the overall breakdown for classes I think is something like 75 or 80% in person, and then 20% or 25% online or hybrid. So we are looking to go into a more in-person setting in the future. As far as the new variant goes, I'm not sure. We've been taking precautions to, kind of mitigate the risk of the spread of COVID-19 on our campus. We have something called Lumisite, which is our university's kind of COVID-19 symptoms checking and, health clearance, I guess. Basically how that works is students create an account, they upload their vaccination cards, and then they have to do a daily symptoms check in order to be able to attend in-person classes and events and things like that. So hopefully those kind of systems we have in place now, as they continue, hopefully we'll be able to kind of control our reaction to the new COVID-19 variant.
Okay, so the next question is, how did the past, when applying for, I'm very sorry for the background noise. Give me 1 second, okay?
Okay, in the meantime, we'll wait for Caitlin. I
Very
see we got
sorry.
another question. Oh, sorry.
When applying for housing, are students given the option to choose a desired room, or are rooms randomly assigned? In addition to that question as well, too, what types of dorms or what types of residence halls are available for freshmen?
I can answer this one. So when you're applying for student housing, you are given the option to request a certain residence hall. It's not guaranteed that you will get what residence hall you requested, but you are given the option to request whichever one you might prefer. I think there might be like a first option, second option, but like I said, it's just not guaranteed. Typically, we put our freshmen in the Hale Aloha Towers, which we like to call the freshman towers. And we just put them in there because everyone's in the same boat. They're all freshmen, all coming to the same place for the first time. So typically that's where we like to put them. Now we do have other residence halls that are specifically for our upperclassmen, but that doesn't mean that there aren't cases where our freshmen get put in those residence halls. It's just not likely. But additionally, our freshmen are not required to stay on campus if they should choose not to, or choose to find, maybe if they already have friends that they know they want to room with off campus. So they're not required to stay on campus. However, personally, I would highly recommend that they do, at least for their first year. Like I said earlier, staying on campus is literally how I've met all my friends here. So I would recommend it. But yeah, Rhys and Senna, if you have anything to add, you can.
The next question is, what kind of clubs are there, and do you have to try out for all the sports? Senna or Rhys, would you like to answer this question?
I can answer. Well, I'll let Rhys take the club side of it. I'll answer the sports side of it. So for our athletics program, we have amazing athletics. We are a D1 school, NCAA D1 school, and so for a lot of our sports teams, including like football, basketball, anything like that, our dance team, you guys will have, there will be kind of a tryout process, but you will also want to work with the coaches. You can contact any of the coaches. You can find their contact information online. And then as for intramural sports, you can get a team together. I don't believe that there are necessarily tryouts, but it is kind of more alongside as a club. So if you find friends that all want to play soccer on a Wednesday night, you can find another group of friends that also want to play soccer, and you guys can all go play soccer together. There's a few different intramural sports that are available to students. And if you don't see one that you've played for a long time and you want to do just more for fun or to get a workout in, you can definitely create your own team and register it with the school so that you're able to play. But as for anything, if you're wanting to play football, you're wanting to play basketball, volleyball, anything like that, I would recommend you get in touch with the coaches. They're all super nice. They're all available, and their emails and their contacts are all listed online. So definitely get in touch with them and work that out. But I'll let Rhys kind of explain how our clubs work on campus.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different clubs on campus. They range from different culture clubs. We have like a Korean culture club, Japan culture club, Filipino culture club, pretty much any culture that we have on campus, we probably have a club for it. We also have academic clubs for almost all of our different majors. And then we have, fun, quirky clubs. We have a sandwich making club. We have different community service clubs. So they really range. So whatever you're looking for, we probably have a club for it. And then, like we mentioned before, if you can't find one that kind of piques your interest, then you can obviously create your own. As far as the application process goes, it varies club to club. Most will, you kind of fill out an interest form. We have something called recruitment week, or it's usually going to be in the beginning of school, maybe the second or third week. Once everybody's kind of settled in, the clubs kind of promote themselves to the students, and you can head out to their recruitment events, kind of see if it's a good fit for you. And then from there, that's where it kind of differs between club to club. For my club specifically, we have an application, and you submit a resume, as well as a couple other things. For other clubs, it's you just have to pay your active status fee. Yeah, so it kind of depends. If you do see one that you're interested in, I would recommend heading out to the recruitment events when that time does come, speaking with some of their kind of like board members or the people who are running the club, see what their active status requirements are, things like that, if it's a good fit for you, and then how you join the club. But like I said, a lot of different club opportunities here on campus.
Thank you. There's just a couple more questions. Are there a lot of internship opportunities available for UH Manoa students? And are there a lot of environmental internships available?
So as far as internships in general go, we do offer a lot of internships, whether it's through um, our graduate schools. So like our John A. Burns School of Medicine, we offer internship and research opportunities through that. We also partner with a lot of third-party companies. We get a lot of support from the community here. We're, I think, like the third largest industry. So in Hawaii. So it goes, I think it's like tourism, then military, then we're right there at number 3. So we are a pretty big part of, just the entire economy here and the workforce. So we do get a lot of people who recruit for internships here at UH Manoa. As far as environmental internships, I'm not 100% sure about any specific ones. I do know that we do a lot of things with the environment. Being in Hawaii, this is kind of the perfect place to study tropical agriculture, things like that. We do a lot of conservation projects, if that's what you're kind of interested in. But in general, yeah, there are a lot of internship opportunities that come through for our UH Manoa students.
Next question is, what is it like to travel from Hawaii to the mainland a few times a year to see family? So Senna or Hannah, if you want to take that question. I know you folks visited family during Thanksgiving.
I will let Senna talk more on this because I actually haven't gone home yet since I've been here, because I've just been here since August. But but going from the mainland to here, honestly, the flight was super easy, and then I'm going home pretty soon for Christmas break, and I'm looking forward to that. But I'll let Senna talk more about it because she's been here for longer.
Yeah, so thanks, Anna. Traveling back and forth is definitely not too bad. I live in California, so the flight is about 5 hours, I believe. I recently visited some friends in Boston, and that flight was 10 hours to the East Coast, which was definitely a lot, but it was actually really fun, so worth the flight. Traveling back and forth, it can get a little bit hectic, but I fly by myself most of the time, so it's pretty easy just to take care of my own stuff. Typically, it looks like, especially if you're living in student housing, there is a checkout and check-in process. And then currently with the pandemic going on, the state has its own process for quarantine or vaccination requirements. And so it is good to stay on top of those things. I was pretty stressed about it at first, but it's actually really simple once you kind of learn the basics of it. So I've kind of gotten used to making sure to upload all my vaccination stuff and then getting cleared by first the state and then student housing and then the school. And so if you live in student housing, one of the benefits of living in student housing is all student housing students get free COVID testing here on campus. And so you can go to the health services anytime, schedule an appointment for COVID-19 testing and get tested, which is really great if you're traveling back and forth and you need that. Even when I was coming back on campus, I wanted to get tested before I went back to work or anything like that. And so it's been pretty easy. Definitely before the pandemic, there was less to worry about. But now with the pandemic, there are a couple of extra steps that you need to take. But it's honestly not bad at all. I've been able to kind of manage it really well, especially since I got vaccinated. So it's a pretty easy process now, and it's nothing too much to stress about. I know the cost can be a point of concern, but typically I'll go home for just winter break and then potentially summer break. So it's about twice a year. I know that the costs can get pretty high around those times because everyone wants to go to Hawaii during those times as well. But making sure to save up for it throughout the semester and throughout the school year really helps, and being mindful of the fact that you want to go home, maybe getting a job on campus as well. I know our campus has really competitive rates, hourly rates, so definitely helps to be able to do that. But yeah, not too bad at all, and nothing to stress about at all. Just making sure to stay on top of everything.
Okay, last question. For the people who decide to live in student housing, is there a curfew for when students are required to return to their room?
I can answer this one. There is not a specific curfew for students to return to their dorms. They can return at any time they want throughout the night. And the campus is very safe as well. So whatever you're feeling like, we have what's they call quiet hours. So they like ask, you know, everyone to keep it down, be quiet. Their students studying, especially around finals weeks. They have certain hours that they're like, hey, like, you know, let's not party right now, or let's not be super loud because there are people trying to study and sleep. But as far as the curfew goes, there's not one set curfew for when you have to be back in the dorms.
Alrighty, folks, we are going to wrap up here for today. I want to thank Caitlin, Rhys, Senna, and Hannah for giving their student life experiences here at UH Manoa. Just a reminder that if you want to sign up for next week's Warrior webinar, we do have more information about scholarships and a winter break checklist. And so please send us an email if you want to sign up, scan that QR, hopefully that you did in the previous slide. And we will see you next week. Looks like we got through all of our questions. So great job, team, for answering them. Thank you all for coming today, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you.